Hey guys, Harsh here and welcome back to Technoloop. Xiaomi's Mi A series devices have always been very good because that is the only series that comes with stock Android. And I personally am a big fan of stock Android because it's very clean, very smooth, and it's one of the best experiences out there. Now Mi A3 is not necessarily an upgrade over Mi A2. It's a completely different phone and they've made very different choices this time. Like they've made some good choices, some bad choices, and some really bad choices. So today in this video, let's talk about Mi A3 and let's talk about why is it so different from Mi A2. Now this time Xiaomi is clearly trying to differentiate between the Mi A series of phones and their Redmi Note series of phones. Like they want Redmi Note series to be the best out there under 15,000 rupees, and they want the Mi A series to exist besides that and not compete with the Redmi Note lineup. And this time the differentiation is pretty clear. Now you might have read the title of this video. It says that Mi A3 is clean, smooth and simple, and here's why. So it comes with stock Android, you all know that, and stock Android is great. It is very clean, no bloatware whatsoever, very clean and smooth experience right from Google, and that's one of the best experiences out there. So if you're a person who does not like to mess around with software that much, you want to use your phone out of the box just the way it is, you don't want to go through a ton of settings, then this phone is for you because it's a very clean phone, and at this price point I guess it's one of the best stock Android phones out there, if not the best. Now let's go ahead and talk about what lies under the hood. So Mi A3 comes with a Snapdragon 665 processor, and along with that you get a couple of options: 4GB RAM with 64GB of internal storage, or 6GB of RAM with 128GB of internal storage. So on paper this phone is not a powerhouse, it's a normal phone, and that's exactly what it is meant to be. It's a simple phone for simple people, and the performance on this phone is actually very good because of stock Android and the Snapdragon 665 processor. Like they work really well together, and I've had no issues with this phone. So day-to-day usage like checking your email or browsing through Instagram, watching YouTube videos, replying to WhatsApp messages, or just navigating to the UI have been very smooth on this phone. Like it does not drop a sweat, and it is very good for day-to-day usage. But that does not go for gaming. Like gaming on this phone would not be recommended because it's not meant for gaming. If you want to buy a gaming phone, there are way better options out there in the similar price point. So yeah, if you are looking for a gaming phone, then I would not recommend the Mi A3. Now next up, let's talk about one of the most controversial points about this phone, and that is the display. So the Mi A3 comes with a 720p AMOLED display. Now we could argue that Xiaomi could have gone with an LCD display with a 1080p resolution. That would have been a better solution. But the reason that they went with a 720p AMOLED display is because of the in-display fingerprint sensor. So I get why they had to make this trade-off. It has to do with differentiating the Redmi Note lineup and Mi A lineup. So Redmi Note 8 Pro has a 1080p display with an LCD panel and a rear mounted fingerprint sensor. But Mi A3 has a 720p AMOLED display with an in-display fingerprint sensor. So it's clearly differentiating the two products, and I get why they had to go with the 720p display. Now when it comes to the actual performance of the display in day-to-day usage, it grew on me after a couple of days. I did not notice any major issues with the display as such, and I forgot that it was just 720p. But there's one thing with the display, that is the colors are on the saturated side. Like the colors are very saturated, and if you do not like that, then this phone is not for you. So what I would recommend if you are planning to buy this phone is that go to an offline store and use the Mi A3 and check out the display, because the display is kind of on the saturated side and some people might not like that. Now Mi A series has always been very famous for its cameras, and Mi A3 is no exception. It comes with a triple camera setup on the rear side. The primary camera is the Sony IMX586 with a 48 megapixel resolution. You also get an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera, and the third one is a 2 megapixel depth sensor. When it comes to clicking photos with the Mi A3, I've had the best time. It's a very good phone for clicking photos and videos as well. And at this price point, it's one of the best phones out there for the camera. Like the colors are good, the saturation levels are good, the dynamic range is decent enough, and even the ultra wide angle is a very good perspective. It might not be as high quality and as good as the primary sensor, but it's a very good perspective, and I love taking ultra wide angle shots. So it's good that this phone has an ultra wide angle camera. Now when it comes to the front camera, this phone comes with a 32 megapixel selfie camera, and it is actually very good. It works really good in terms of daylighting conditions, artificial lighting conditions, and also in terms of low lighting conditions. So it's a great front camera, and I'm really glad that Xiaomi decided to put a good front camera in the Mi A3. Like, they did not cheap out on the front camera, and that's a good thing. Apart from that, Mi A3 also brings back the headphone jack. I don't know why they removed it in the first place from Mi A2. It made no sense to remove the headphone jack from Mi A2, but I'm really glad that it's made its way back, because at this price point, the headphone jack is very important. Okay, so what about battery life? Battery life on this phone has been excellent. I've been getting a constant screen on time of about 7 to 8 hours, and that is very good. Like, I don't charge it for 1.5 days and it easily works, and the battery is just too good. Like, Mi A2 had really small battery, but Mi A3 has a good battery, a big battery, and I'm really glad that Xiaomi made this choice. I also really like the form factor of the Mi A3. It's very easy to hold in your hand. It's a small phone. It's not a big phone by any means. And the form factor is just perfect. So one-handed usage is very easy on this phone, and I kind of like that. So overall, Mi A3 is a very simple phone. It's not extraordinary in any means. It's just a good, simple, stock Android phone. And if that's what you're looking for, then you should definitely go ahead and buy it. But on the other hand, as I mentioned before, if you want a gaming phone, or if you like to play around with settings and custom ROMs and themes and all those things, then you should definitely think about some other phone out there like Redmi Note 8 Pro or even the Realme XT. Those phones are better for those purposes. But this phone is clean, smooth, and simple. I'm going to leave it there. If you want to buy it, the link will be available in the description box below. So anyway, that's been it. My name is Harsh Punjabi, and I'll see you guys in the next one.